Hello everyone, this is Warhawk Beyond 2040 and welcome to another edition of the Jazz Albums Review Series. And today I am going to be talking about one of the greatest guitarists of all time and a true master of the 12-string guitar and classical guitar, the one and only, the legendary Ralph Towner. And since bursting onto the scene in the 1960s, Ralph Towner has seen it all, done it all, and played with them all, and is considered to be one of the most respected and decorated guitar players of all time. And he has played with and collaborated with a number of great musicians and bands over the years, from Paul Winter's Consort to Bill Bruford to Gary Burton to Larry Coryell to David Frisson to Jan Garbarek to Egberto Gismonti, Charlie Hayden, Keith Jarrett, Weather Report, Vince Mendoza, Andy Middleton, you name it, he's played with them all, but he is best known for his long association as a member of the jazz world outfit Oregon with Paul McCandless, Glenn Moore, and Colin Walcott, and later on Mark Walker. And today I thought I'd take a look at Ralph Towner's solo guitar discography, which is a total of 5 solo recordings, and I am going to be talking about each one of them individually, and I'll be choosing which one I think is the best one. So we are going to start with the first album, which was released in 1980, and this is Solo Concert. So this features Ralph Towner on 12-string and classical guitars, and this is more of a solo live performance, and to me, this is Ralph Towner at his very, very best. He's great with other bands and he's great with other musicians, but to me, there is no better experience than Ralph Towner performing solo guitar, and this was an album that pretty much started it all as far as solo guitar performances for Ralph Towner. And this is an amazing recording, and if there was ever a solo guitar album that I would recommend to check out regarding Ralph Towner, this is the perfect place to start. So we're going to have a quick look. As you can see, there's Ralph Towner. So all compositions by Ralph Towner, with the exception of one track composed by John Abercrombie and a standard by Miles Davis. So we got Spirit's Lake, Ralph's Piano Waltz, Train of Thought, Zoetrope, Nardis, Chelsea Courtyard, and Timeless. An absolutely beautiful recording, in my opinion. And the thing with Ralph Towner's solo guitar performances in his music, there's a lot of jazz, there's a lot of classical, there's even some European influences as well, and there's a bit of new age in there somewhere along the lines, but it's all there, and you know, there's no better place to start than this album. So there is Ralph Towner Solo Concert. Beautiful recording. So it would be quite a while before Ralph Towner would release another solo guitar album, and the next one was released in 1987, and this is called Anna Solo Guitar. A great follow-up to the Solo Concert album, all compositions written by Ralph Towner. Brilliant, brilliant album. And the thing with Ralph Towner's solo guitar albums, there's no bad one. They're all good, they're all different, but at the same time, they're outstanding as far as I'm concerned. So we've got The Reluctant Bride, Tale of Severio, Joyful Departure, Green and Golden, I Knew It Was You, Les Deux Zélies, Velt, 7 pieces for 12 strings, Between the Clouds, Child on the Porch, Carib Crib, Slavic Mood, Carib Crib 2, Toru, Sage Brush Rider. Beautiful, beautiful album. You're not going to find a bad track inside. And the thing with Ralph Towner's albums, there's no real standout track. It's just one thing, and you got to really listen to all of it in its entirety to really appreciate what Ralph Towner actually does, and it's just brilliant. So here we have it. There we go. So there's all the credits right there. It's a brilliant recording, as far as I'm concerned. It's It's really good. So there you have it, Anna Solo Guitar. Another one that I would definitely highly recommend you check out. So as we move along, Ralph Towner would release another solo guitar album, and this one came out in 2001, and this was quite a big album, I think, and this is Anthem. So Anthem is another solo guitar album, as I mentioned already, and it features once again Ralph Towner on classical and 12-string guitars. Great follow-up. You know, by this point, Ralph Towner was quite prolific. He was releasing quite a number of solo guitar albums over the next few years, and this is, as I said, a fantastic follow-up. So we got Solitary Woman, the title track Anthem, Haunted, The Lute Maker, Simone, Glorious Step, Four Comets, Rafish, Very Late, The Prowler, Three Comments, and Goodbye Pork Pie Hat. Brilliant album. Let's have a quick look. So all compositions are written and composed by Ralph Towner, with the exception of Glorious Step by Scott LaFaro and Goodbye Pork Pie by Charles Mingus. So we got Four Comments, that's more like a mini 4-part suite, and Three Comments, it's like a little mini trilogy, and the rest are just like normal solo pieces, but it's a brilliant recording. There he is, there's the master. And the thing with Ralph Towner, when you listen to him, you know straight away it's Ralph Towner, because he's got a very distinct sound on the classical and 12-string guitars. And Ralph Towner isn't just an amazing guitarist, he's quite a good keyboard player, piano player, and he can play percussion, and he's also dabbled in playing trumpet on some of his recordings. But for me, as I mentioned earlier, Ralph Towner is at his best playing solo guitar, and you know that's where he's at his very, very best in my opinion. So there you have it, Anthem. So it would be another few more years until Ralph Towner released another solo guitar album, and in my opinion this could very well be the best one of the entire solo guitar catalogue. And this was released in 2006, and this is Timeline. This one, from what I remember, was a very big and respected album, and it got a lot of airplay on a number of radio stations, and it's absolutely brilliant. And to me, this is quite close to something you would hear in classical music. As I mentioned, there's quite a bit of classical music and folk elements in Ralph Towner's music and playing, but this, to me, could very well be the best one. So we got The Pendants, Oleander Etude, Always By Your Side, The Hollows, Anniversary Song, If, Five Glimpses, The Lizards of Ericles, Turning Off the Leaves, Come Rain or Come Shine, Freeze Frame, My Man's Gone Now. Brilliant album. Probably Ralph Towner's best album, in my opinion, as far as solo guitar performances are concerned. Nice. Very good. So Five Glimpses is like a 5 mini suite, and the rest are all like solo guitar pieces. So all compositions written and composed by Ralph Towner, except Come Rain or Come Shine by Harold Arlen, and My Man's Gone Now by George Gershwin. And Ralph Towner, of course, is playing classical and 12-string guitars. That's a cool dude there. I love when ECM do things like this. You know, you got the sunset and the trees. And one thing I like about ECM album covers, you know, I love their album covers because they're like photographs or like landscapes or abstract covers. You know, they're so unique and beautiful, and sometimes they're so simplistic, as you can see here. The master. Nice. If you're not familiar with Ralph Towner, then I would recommend checking out his work with Oregon. You know, I've got some Oregon albums. There's some great stuff there, and they've done a lot of albums. And that's the perfect place to start if you're not that familiar with Ralph Towner. Or if you can't find the Oregon albums, then just go straight to his solo guitar discography. You know, some brilliant albums here. So there you have it. Timelines. Quite possibly the best Ralph Towner solo guitar album, as far as I'm concerned. And then we would come to the last album, which is the last solo guitar album that Ralph Towner has released to date. And this came out in 2017, and this is My Foolish Heart. So features once again Ralph Towner on classical and 12-string guitars, and this was a great follow-up. Although we had to wait nearly 11 years for another one, because he's very busy playing with other people and with Oregon, but this was definitely worth the wait. So we've got Pilgrim, I'll Sing to You, Saunter, My Foolish Heart, Dolomiti Dance, Clarion Call, Two Poets, Shard, You Be Sant, Biding Time, Blue as in Blay, which I imagine is a reference to Paul Blay, and Rewind. Excellent solo guitar album. This is the last one that he's done to date. I'm really hoping he does another one, because I love Ralph Towner's solo guitar albums. All compositions written and composed by Ralph Towner, with the exception of one standard, My Foolish Heart, by Victor Young and Ned Washington. And there's a bit of sleeve notes here as well, as you can see. So as we move along, there's Ralph Towner, the master. There's the master again, doing what he does best. There you go. Yeah. So there you have it, Ralph Towner, My Foolish Heart. And as I mentioned earlier, the reason why I've not picked out what standout tracks are my favourites is simply because you have to really listen to all of his albums to fully appreciate his music. So I'm not going to choose which tracks I think are the best, because they're all good. It's just like one continuous song throughout. So you have to really listen to all of it to really appreciate and respect Ralph Towner's music. So there you have it, Ralph Towner, My Foolish Heart, and this is the last solo guitar album that Ralph Towner has released to date. And the best album, I would say, as I mentioned earlier, Ralph Towner, Timeline. You know, it's a brilliant album, and for me, this is probably his most well-known album. I like all of the others; they're all great, but this is the one I would say is the best one of his entire solo guitar catalogue, as far as I'm concerned. So there you have it, my favourite album, Ralph Towner, Timeline. 5 solo guitar albums in total, all great in their own rights, and definitely worth checking out. So that's going to be it from me. I am going to wrap this up now. What's your favourite Ralph Towner solo guitar album? Is it My Foolish Heart? Is it Timeline? Anthem? Anna? Or Solo Concert? There's no right or wrong answer. I'm sure we've all got different favourites that we like of Ralph Towner's music. So you know what to do. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, leave your thoughts and comments down below. And I will be back next time for another edition of the Jazz Albums Review Series. So until next time, take care everybody and stay safe. And once again, thanks for listening.